All right, let's talk about something that I'm willing to bet drives you crazy sometimes, that constant battle for focus. You know the feeling, right? It feels like this impossible uphill climb. Well, today, we're going to dig into why that is, and more importantly, how you can actually start winning. Let's dive in. Okay, so let's just get this out of the way right now. Have you ever had one of those days, you're just staring at a screen, your brain feels like mush, and you just can't focus? And then, what happens next? You spend the rest of the day beating yourself up, right? Thinking, ugh, I'm just so lazy, or I have no willpower. Sound familiar? Well, you are definitely not alone. But here's the thing. What if all that blame is just wrong? What if it has nothing to do with being lazy? This right here, this is the big idea we're going to unpack. Concentration isn't some fixed personality trait. You're not just born a focused person or an unfocused person. It's really more like an output, a result. It's a function of your body, your mind, and everything around you. You can almost think of it like a machine, you know? It has all these different inputs. And the best part? You're the one who can control a lot of those inputs. All right, so if we're going to fix this system, we first got to figure out what's breaking it, right? So let's take a look at the top culprits, the things that are constantly sabotaging our focus. And we're going to start with the absolute foundation of, well, everything your brain does.
Okay, culprit number one, and honestly this is the big one, sleep. And I'm not just talking about how many hours you get, it's all about the quality of that sleep. You know that last 30 minutes you spend scrolling on your phone in bed? Yeah, that's basically telling your brain to stay on high alert, and it just wrecks the deep, restorative sleep you need to recharge. So if you're hitting that 8-hour mark but still waking up feeling totally groggy, that's a huge red flag. Seriously, you can't have elite focus without elite sleep.
Next up, stress. When you are seriously stressed out, your brain kind of flips a switch into what's called survival mode. Its number one job suddenly becomes scanning the horizon for danger, not sitting down to think deeply about a spreadsheet. I mean, think about it. When you've got a mountain of work to do, what do you end up doing? You avoid the big stuff and you organize your paper clips or score through Instagram, right? That's your brain in survival mode. It's just too busy looking for threats to settle down and do the hard work.
And of course, we have to talk about the digital overload, the elephant in the room. Every single ping, buzz, and little red dot is like a tiny little paper cut to your attention span. It just pulls you right out of that deep focus, that flow state. And we tell ourselves we're great multitaskers, but really, our brains are just frantically switching back and forth, and that comes with a massive, massive cost. And that cost, it actually has a name. It's called the task switching cost. And just look at this. It can take your brain up to 15 minutes to get back to the same level of focus you had before you glanced at that one little text message. Let that sink in. 15 minutes. You check your phone, 3 or 4 times in an hour? Bam! There goes your entire window for getting anything meaningful done. It's wild.
So, what's the bottom line here? It's this. Your ability to focus isn't some big mystery. It's basically an equation. It's the sum of your sleep, your stress, your environment, your habits, and yeah, sometimes medical stuff too. Once you start seeing it like this, like an equation, you can stop blaming yourself for the answer, and you can start playing with the variables. You can start fixing the inputs.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about the problem. Enough of that. Let's get to the good stuff, the solutions. What can you actually do? Here are some super practical tips you can literally start using today to tweak those inputs and take back control of your focus.
You know, one of the biggest roadblocks to focus is just starting. A goal like, work on the report, feels massive, right? It's so vague your brain just freezes up. But look at the difference when you say, okay, I'm going to write the first 2 paragraphs by 3 p.m. All of a sudden, it's not scary anymore. It's small, it's specific, it's totally doable. Your brain knows exactly what the first step is. This one little trick of making your goals super specific is probably one of the best ways to kill procrastination.
All right, next time you feel that brain fog creeping in and you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't just try to power through it. You're going to lose that battle. Try this instead. It's a simple 2-minute physical reset. Step 1, just stand up and stretch. Step 2, drink a glass of water. And step 3, take 5 really deep, slow breaths. That's it. This little physical pattern interrupts the mental fatigue, gets your blood moving, and kind of reboots your brain. It's a surprisingly powerful trick.
Look, if you're struggling to focus, trying to force yourself to work for an hour straight it's a recipe for disaster. You gotta start smaller. So try this, the 15-5 method. It's super simple. You set a timer for just 15 minutes. And for those 15 minutes, phone is gone. Out of sight, out of mind. When that timer rings, you get a 5-minute break. But, and this is the most important part, do not check your phone during that break. Get up, walk around, look out a window. What you're doing is training your brain that focus is just a series of short sprints, not some horrible, endless marathon.
If you really want to fix your focus system, you need some data. So, for just 1 week, I want you to become a detective. At the end of each day, just jot down 2 things. When did I feel the most focused today, and what was the thing that distracted me the most? And listen, this is not about judging yourself or feeling bad. The whole point is to find patterns, not to find someone to blame. You might discover, hey, my brain is on fire between 10 a.m. and noon, or wow, that one app is my kryptonite. That's not failure. That's incredibly valuable information.
Okay, so all of these tips can make a world of difference, for real. But it's also super important to be honest with ourselves and to know when simple lifestyle changes aren't going to cut it. So let's talk about that for a minute, when it might be time to get some professional help.
Now, sometimes a really stubborn inability to concentrate can actually be a symptom of an underlying medical condition. And let me be super clear, we are not diagnosing anything here. This is just to give you some perspective. You know, with something like adult ADHD, it might look like you can never ever finish a task. With anxiety, it can feel like your brain is so full of what-ifs that there's just no room for anything else. The point is, if your focus problems feel really severe and they just won't go away, there might be a treatable reason why. And finding that out is the first step to feeling better.
So, here's a little checklist to think about. Have these problems been going on for, say, more than 3 months? Is this really starting to mess with your work, or your school, or even your relationships? Have you tried to fix your sleep, you've tried the other tips, and just nothing seems to move the needle? If you're nodding along to these, especially that last one, then it's probably a good time to talk to a professional. Seriously, they have the tools to help you get to the bottom of it. So, if you take away just one thing from all of this, let it be this. Your ability to concentrate is not set in stone. It's not who you are, it is a system. And the cool thing about systems is that you can understand them, you can tweak them, and you can make them better. You are the architect of your own focus. You're in the driver's seat. So the only real question is, what's the first small thing you're going to change?